Legend has it Syrah was first brought to France from Persia, or modern-day Iran, by Roman soldiers during the Gallic Wars, and that the plantings were used to make a hearty red wine which, at the time, was safer than water for the soldiers to drink. Of course, this is only a legend because in 1998, DNA analysis of the grape revealed its true parentage. Dureza and Mondeuse Blanche, both fairly obscure French grapes originating in the Rhône-Alpes region where Syrah was born. Today, the Rhône Valley, and most specifically the Northern Rhône, is still one of the world's foremost producers of Syrah, from Côte-Rôtie in the north to the much-vaunted Hermitage and Cornas regions. From France, the grape was brought to Australia, where it was subsequently rechristened Shiraz, and quickly became the nation's favorite red wine. And from there, Syrah, or Shiraz, made its way to the wider wine-drinking world. So what is Syrah? In this video, we're exploring what it's like, pairing options, and more. Let's dive in. First off, we'll try to sort out pronunciation. Syrah is the French name and is pronounced Syrah. Shiraz is the Australian name and can be pronounced in a few different ways, though generally Shiraz won't put you wrong. Next, we must address the elephant in the room, the Syrah-Shiraz split, or why there are two different English names for the same grape. Happily, it's all quite straightforward, really. Syrah is the original French name for the grape, while Shiraz is what the Australians called it after James Busby brought it back to the country in the 1830s. Historically, Syrah was the name preferred by old world wine producers, whereas Shiraz was adopted by the new. However, lately, many vintners have taken to naming their wines based more on the style and production technique. So if, for example, an Australian wine reads more like a Syrah, that is, was made using old world production techniques, it may be labeled Syrah, and the same goes for Shiraz. So what can you expect from a wine labeled Syrah versus a Shiraz? Well, although this certainly won't apply to all wines for the reasons we've just mentioned, here's a rough guide. A Syrah is typically the product of cooler climates, think Northern Rhône, and does well with heights, which is why many Syrah vineyards are terraced and planted on hillsides. You may notice peppercorn, bell pepper, and dark berry notes, or even a hint of cacao. These wines tend to be more herbaceous than their warm climate counterparts. They're also lighter in color and more spare. Again, we're just discussing a few common tendencies. There are most definitely exceptions. On the other hand, because grapes with Shiraz labelings are often exposed to more sunshine, the resulting wine tends to be more fruit-forward and tannic. Shiraz is an incredibly full-bodied red, with a flavor profile that runs the gamut from plum and acai to licorice and vanilla. These wines are bold, usually deep purple in color and often quite age-worthy. Some bottles can develop for up to 25 years. Reverting back to the grape itself for a moment, Syrah is very thick-skinned, which means the wine is often quite tannic. Some believe that the tannins in Syrah have antioxidant properties beneficial for heart health and general well-being, so eat your greens and drink your Syrah. In moderation, of course, and full disclosure, the science is not conclusive and I am not a doctor, so please don't take my word for it. That said, if you've nevertheless enjoyed that fact and feel you may find it useful at your next dinner party or as a justification for a solo Syrah drinking session, please consider liking this video or clicking the subscribe button. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, what can you pair it with? Broadly speaking, this is not a wine for delicate or understated meals. It's incredibly full-bodied, so it needs to pair with foods that aren't afraid to go toe-to-toe. Lamb and other meats seasoned to bring out Syrah's underlying herb and spice tendencies pair especially well, but my favorite pairing of all is blue cheese. Consider a strong Roquefort, nutty Gorgonzola, or Stilton. In the manifestly unlikely event that blue cheese isn't really your thing, look for something that will stand its ground, like an aged Gouda. And that concludes our brief introduction to Syrah/Shiraz. We hope you found this useful. Cheers! If you'd like to learn more about wine, click the subscribe button or check out our Understanding Wine series now. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, please consider supporting us on Patreon at the link in the description box below. As a Quince patron, you'll get early access to future videos and can even vote on upcoming video topics. Our amazing patrons allow us to work on these videos full-time and make them as good as we possibly can. Thank you all very, very much for your support.